Well, welcome to the Oklahoma Gardening Purple Martin Hotel, where you see a vacancy sign up. And as a reminder, we've had our house up for one season, and hopefully you won't be seeing that sign here in a few weeks. And joining me to kind of give us some pointers on Purple Martins is Brady Terrell, who is, I guess, Brady, you're kind of being known as the Martin man now, aren't you?
Some people say that.
Right. Brady is from Shawnee, Oklahoma, but actually he's a student here at Oklahoma State University too. And Brady, how did you get interested in Purple Martins to start with?
Well, I'd have to give credit to my grandfather. He had Martins a lot when he was younger, and whenever I was growing up, he always taught me a lot about them. He made me my first house, and he's the one that got me interested in them.
And Brady has got all kinds of good information to share with us today. Now, first of all, Brady, is the location of our houses okay place to put them?
Yes, you want the most open area that you can find. Anywhere from 20 to 30 feet from trees would be very good placement. And you also want them to be pretty close to your housing. Right.
Now, they actually like people to be around them too, don't they?
Yes, they're secure.
Well, now, what about the height of our houses? What do you suggest there?
Well, anywhere from 10 to 20 foot is ideal. I normally keep mine around 10 to 12 foot.
Okay. And, of course, these are predator guards to keep the snakes and different things from climbing up the pole. But what about this? We put this for perching, I guess. Is that a pretty good idea?
It's a wonderful idea, Steve. But the problem I might have with this is that it's attaching both houses together, and that would make it easy if a squirrel or something wants to get up on it. They can go back and forth. And the best thing to do would be take this perch and put it a little ways further from your housing, and maybe a little bit higher than the housing.
Okay. And what is the purpose of the perching then?
Well, it gives martins like to sit around and preen around their nesting areas. They clean their feathers, and it also gives them a little more space to spread out.
Okay. Well, of course, we put up some of the MAC houses last year, but you're going to talk a little bit about some of the possible suggestions on houses. What about the cedar one there behind you?
Well, this is a cedar house, and it's very beautiful in design. The compartment size seems to be all right. The minimum size we want in compartments is a 6x6 unit. And the ideal is a 7x12. And the only problem I have with this house is that it might need to be painted white. And so that is what I would do to this house. Other than that, it's perfect.
Well, why does the house need to be white? Is that?
Well, the martins might be imprinted to a white color, where that makes it more attractive, and it also reflects heat.
All right. Now, is the size of the hole important?
It is. This size of the hole is ideal. You don't want to get much smaller than this.
Okay. All right, now Brady, let's go around on the other side there, and this is our MAC house, and you've actually given us some suggestions to maybe help attract the Purple Martins this season, and what do we need to do there?
Okay, the idea behind this is to make a new site look like an old site. You want to make a new house look like it's been used, and so what I've done is I have put a mud lip in here, and I've used some pine needles and some small sticks and twigs and some old dead leaves to put in here to simulate a nest that might have been in here from last year. And so what I'm trying to do is make this site look like it's been used, because the young birds that usually come to a new site want to feel secure.
Okay. And you might notice too, folks, that we have a little bit, it looks like almost flour sprinkled down in there, and what that is actually diatomaceous earth that we've sprinkled in there. And of course you want to use a dust mask and gloves, but it's basically to help control mites, I guess, if we get any in there.
Parasites, yes, any kind of insect parasite.
Crawl across it, it kind of punctures their outer coating.
Right.
Now, what about here? You notice, Brady, that we've had some of the gourds hanging on our Purple Martin house. You even have given us some suggestions to correct some errors there too, haven't you?
That's right, Steve. You had these attached with a string here, which allowed them to swing like this, but it also allowed them to twist in the wind. The swinging motion is actually great. The martins really like it, and the sparrows and starlings dislike that a lot.
Okay.
And so what you've done is you've taken a wire here, which allow them to swing back and forth like this, but it won't allow the compartments to twist like this.
And these are, I guess, a plastic type that open up, pretty easy to clean.
Yes, sir.
And we noticed one of ours had a wasp nest in it. I think that's about the only thing we got in ours last year. You've reminded us again that putting Vaseline, is that right?
I would smear a little Vaseline on the top, but an occupied house is not likely to have
any problems with wasps. Yeah. Okay. Now, the other thing that I found very interesting that you've suggested, in addition to making the house look like it's been used, is to get up early in the morning and with a timer or something and play a tape out here. Talk about these kinds of tapes that you've suggested here.
What I'm using is a dawn song tape, which is something that the adult male Purple Martins do before daylight, usually an hour and a half to 2 hours before daylight. And what they're doing is the young birds migrate through the night a lot of times and early in the mornings. And so what they do is that they seem trying to attract the subadult males to a colony site. And so what you do is you simulate having an active colony site to try to get subadults, because that is usually what established at a new colony site.
Well, now, Brady, you suggested in addition to playing it early in the morning that anytime we're out here working to also play it too. Let's just play that for a little bit and take a listen to what that might sound like.
Sounds like a good idea.
Now, Brady, that's a very unusual idea, I think, one that we probably hadn't thought of. Where on earth would we ever find a tape like that?
Well, you can order them from the Purple Martin Conservation Association. And you can get a hold of them, and it's a very scientific research organization in a university, and they will issue a catalog to you where you can order these things from.
And their information is pretty technical as well, too, for more advanced, I guess, Purple Martin.
Yes, they're more not for the layman's type.
Okay, now you also have another one maybe for the person just starting out?
Yes, this is very good for people who are just starting out. This is the Nature Society News out of Illinois, and they have to do with the aluminum type housing mostly, but they deal with other kinds of birds as well as purple martins, and it's very good information for people who like to write in.
Okay. Well, Brady, you have definitely given us some great ideas, hopefully this second year. And you say really it's not uncommon for them to take a couple of 3 years,
That's right.
So patience and putting them in the right location and the right equipment. And folks, hopefully if the weather will cooperate, we will try to take a trip in a week or two, Brady, and come visit you in Shawnee and take a look at your setup. Thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you.